This is Vikings United, your ultimate destination for everything Minnesota Vikings. Bringing together the most passionate fans, insightful analysts, and dynamic creators from across Skol Nation. Get ready for deep dives, spirited debates, and exclusive insights from Coach Cody. We're celebrating our community, honoring our heroes, and fueling your fandom with Pillars of Valor coffee. This is more than a show. It's a movement. This is Vikings United.
Hamdi.
Purple and gold, that's all we know. Purple and gold, we holla Skol. Purple and gold, this how we roll. Purple and gold, now holla Skol. Purple and gold, this how it goes. Purple and gold, we holla Skol. Purple and gold, that's how you know. Purple and gold, now holla Skol. Representing Skol, the gang, you know the name. It's a Minnesota thing. Put that on the purple blood that's running through these golden veins. Hail, sleet, snow, or rain, regardless, we gon' go to games. $1 billion stadium on Sundays, they don't close the bank. Fail, rarely get your tail buried. If it's JJ to JJ on Hail Marys, I'm like Aaron Jones, I see the field clearly. Gain 150 yards off of 12 carries. And 2 tuds, I see you crack a can of ice cold whoop ass on the Packers fan. Downtown Minneapolis, where we pack the stands and put our hands above our heads when we clap our hands. That's how we clap our hands, we put our hands above our head when we clap our hands. Now clap your hands and put your hands above your head when you clap your hands. That's how we clap our hands, we put our hands above our head when we clap our hands. I said clap your hands and put your hands above your head when you clap your hands. Purple and gold, that's all we know. Purple and gold, we holla Skol. Purple and gold, this how we roll. Purple and gold, now holla Skol. Purple and gold, this how it goes. Purple and gold, we holla Skol. Purple and gold, that's how you know. Purple and gold, now holla Skol. If you from Minnesota, let me know. If you from Minnesota, here we go. Minnesota notice. I'm known to Skol and then blow the coldest and Skol until I got scoliosis. So when we Skol, we so ferocious. So just know, just way before 84 was the dopest. We showed you who the purple and the gold is. If you from Minnesota, let me know. Right now. If you from Minnesota, here we go. Minnesota. And gold, that's all we know. Purple and gold, we holla Skol. Purple and gold, this how we roll. Purple and gold, now holla Skol. Purple and gold, this how it goes. Purple and gold, we holla Skol. Purple and gold, that's how you know. Purple and gold, now holla Skol.
To throw on 4th and 18. He's given time. He wants Jefferson. Climbs the ladder. Oh my goodness! Justin Jefferson pulled it in. The catch of his life. We gotta look back at this.
Welcome into the Scene Project Sports Network. I am your host, Bubba Starts, and you are here tonight for Vikings United. Man, that song gets me fired up. I'm joined by my co-host, Coach Cody. What'd you think of the track, Cody?
That was awesome. I definitely need that MP3. You got to send that to me. Man, shout out to him.
Shout out to our guy, Prince Walker, Prince De Niro, and his guy, Chris Clay. Big V, welcome back, brother. Glad to have you on a Tuesday night.
Dude, you ain't kidding. That's like almost in my top 5 of songs that just get you pumped Yeah, he's good out there. That's all. I mean, I don't know if you saw me backstage, but I'm bobbing. My son walks by, he goes, "Dude,
I was bobbing too.
So I mean,
I don't know how it's not played on the stadium every Sunday, man. Like that is.
Right.
We might have to do some connections and get them played.
It will be. It will be soon.
That we might want to send off to KFAN there, not Chris Hockey play that.
Yep. That snippet with Justin Jefferson against the Bills a couple years ago, that was legit. I like that.
Yeah.
Oh man, what a great way to start every show. Hey Kevin, thanks for tuning in. We're doing good, man. Just
what's up, Kevin Cherry? I know you're hyped. Your Bears are in the second round, so
yeah, well, we're gonna talk about that a little bit. I never gonna be sad watching the Packers lose. I don't care who they're playing. Hey Kev, hey to my wife Danielle, she's doing homework inside tonight.
Hey, no red cup, no red cup.
Well, the
ran out of red cups.
Red cups equal W's, but the season, sadly for the Vikings, is over. We got a lot of stuff to get into tonight. Obviously, we've had some movement in the coaching carousel already with the Steelers losing last night. We heard, Mike Tomlin is out as the Steelers head coach. What does that mean for Brian Flores and the Vikings? Obviously, big news of the day, the press conference coming out this morning, right before the press conference, announced that Jordan Addison was arrested again. We hate to see that. We're going to get into a lot more as that, but first we're going to get in. We're going to thank our sponsors, Pillar of Valor. We're going to come back in just a minute after we hear a word from our sponsors, Pillar of Valor. A huge shout out as always to them. As we cheer on our Minnesota Vikings, let's also recognize true heroes. Pillars of Valor coffee isn't just about exceptional taste. It's a veteran-owned company with a powerful mission. With every purchase, you're directly contributing to programs that empower and support veterans and first responders. Imagine starting your day with a rich, bold coffee that also fuels a vital cause. Pillars of Valor coffee is dedicated to making a tangible impact, honoring those who've served our nation and communities. Join them in their mission. Visit pillarsofvalor.com to learn more and get your bag today. Pillars of Valor coffee, greater purpose. Oh, bring us all back. Yeah, shout out to Pillars of Valor. I tried a new flavor tonight. So I've been drinking the dark roast and switched it up tonight because I needed a cup before the show, obviously. And
I got to give me some.
Is empty. Yeah. Well, unfortunately, they came to me, and then getting them back up to Minnesota is a little bit of an issue right now. So, but I'm working on it, Coach. I promise.
No worries at all.
Does a bag of coffee last you like a day? I mean, you got to be going through it.
It'll probably last me maybe a day and a half, but I'm excited for it. Shout out to Pillar of Valor coffee.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get Cody a membership at Starbucks or something, with everything he's got going on these days.
You know what I really need? I need a phone company to sponsor me. That's what I really need because I'm struggling with these two.
Oh man. Well, let's start there. Let's catch up a little bit. First of all, we all got to know how'd the tryouts go, Coach?
Yep.
The tryouts went amazing. A lot better than I expected. Just the turnout in general. I never really, thought about it, but the size and the number of turnouts, tells you a lot. And a lot of players at the trial were like, "Dang, there's a lot of people here." Last tryout I was with only had about 4 people. One had 7, so we were right around 20. So it was nice. A lot of competition. Probably signed about at least half of them. So the other ones might be practice squad. Who knows? A lot of injuries happen. So it was a good time though.
Well, and now because you had this massive turnout and all these guys know other ball players, right? So that the next time you're going to have even more turnout for these. And as you keep going and to grow that database of players that you got going on, and then they're going to be pulling guys that are, there's always going to be college graduates that don't elevate to that level, that want to continue their career. Like, this thing is just going to continue to grow. I mean, you really, I know that you were with another organization, and then obviously you had your run with the Bears, and you've been growing this thing for a couple of years now. To already be at the level you're at, I think is a huge testament to who you are as a man and the way that you treat these players, for them to have that kind of trust in you to pay money. I know it's not a lot to come and do the tryouts, but still they're putting their money out there on the line. They're taking time out of their day. Some of these people were traveling from thousands of miles away to come and be a part of this. So it really is a testament to you and everything that you bring to the table, Coach.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, and I'm blessed, honestly. And I think it's, more. I tell my players all the time, I care about you as a player, but more as a person off the field, and just taking the time to actually know them, and always coming to practice with a high energy, love and passion for them and the sports itself. It shows a lot, tells a lot. We all have things going on in our life in the background, but you got to check it out the door. It'll be right there waiting for you when you're done. So
Cody, how's it going to work with you being up here coaching with your defense, or is it going to be the whole team, and then some of them are down in, wherever the Calgary are at? I mean, how's that going to work? Or
So the offense will be in Gillette, Wyoming. They'll live there, and they'll practice. The defense will be with me, and then I'll also have a scout team offense, and then we got 7 games right now. 5 are home, so all we got to do. Most of us are from around the 5-state area, so we can just pick a meeting point and then jet out there. And then for the 2 away games, they've got to come through Minnesota just to get there. So, that's kind of how that'll work. I need smart players for that scout offense, just to know the offense that we're going to be going up against, and to potentially learn our offense because of the injuries and call-ups and everything like that.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of moving pieces. Tell you what, Cody, I got a call coming up here soon with a tour bus company out of Nashville. We're going to see if we can't work some magic with the Scene projects and get a nice bus, get some corporate sponsorships for the Cavalry team as well, and keep growing our relationship and everything that we're building here, not just at SPSN, but the Scene projects, our parent network, and everything that's going on. Big presser today. Obviously, we had Kwesi and Kevin O'Connell speaking. I didn't watch the press conference myself. I had a pretty busy day, interviews and whatnot, running this network as the executive producer of the Scene projects. But I did listen into the Purple Daily and kind of listening to their analysis of it. I don't know if you had a chance to watch the presser, Coach, if you had some of your thoughts, or be either one. Coach, we'll start with you.
I didn't get a chance to. I did read a couple articles, just off Google and stuff, but at that time there was no comment. KOC and company were aware of the situation, but didn't really come out and say it at that point. This was like early in the morning, so I didn't get to see the presser. But man, that dude, he needs some help. Chris Carter, where you at?
And he sits next to Justin Jefferson. I don't know if any mentorship is going to help. Talk about that from the coach's standpoint. Obviously, for those that don't know, Jordan Addison arrested again for trespassing. What that means, I don't know. I don't know that there's a lot of details out about that. B can fill us in a minute. But Coach, as the head of that locker room, knowing that you have a player that continues to be Hey, Danielle's got an opinion about it already. That a teacher would say exactly this. But do you echo this sentiment where this kid continues to hurt his team? There's probably going to be another suspension along with this. It could be, it's obviously going to be more than 3 games because he had the legal trouble before. You're looking at possibly 6 games. That's a third of the season coming up into a contract year. Do you just say, you know what, you are a cancer to this team? You're a bad role model for other young players that we have coming in. If we allow you to stay on this team, what message are the Vikings sending to the rest of them? Because they've kind of turned this culture around and have built, around someone who's such a stand-up, not just football player, but a really great guy in Justin Jefferson. Is that is your captain, and then you have his number 2, right? That is the exact opposite of that. What do you do in this situation?
Well, I mean, and I even said it on one of our interviews when I was with the Bears, but I would have got rid of him at the beginning of this year. I would have tried to get value for him. It was too much. That 3 games probably cost us playoffs this year. And now 6 games next year, like, I'd cut ties with him. How many second chances does a person really deserve? And it's not like he's not, he might take the slap on the wrist. Oh, he might get upset because he's not playing or anything. But that's the only reason why he's getting upset is because he's not playing. He doesn't care or nothing. If he did, he wouldn't do it over and over and over again. 3rd time he's getting locked up.
It's just crazy. Someone with all the opportunities and everything. And I'm no one to judge anyone. I've made poor decisions, but I had to deal with the repercussions of those decisions. Right. And not that you're losing when he doesn't play, he doesn't get the paycheck. Right. Same with being injured. And I don't think a lot of people understand that you're not getting your game checks as an injured player either. So, right. It's hurting him financially. It's hurting him, long term, especially with because now his value's completely tanked and other teams are watching. This isn't just with the Vikings. Sure, there may be a team like the Raiders or some bottom feeder that's going to give somebody like this a chance when his contract expires. But at this point, the Vikings can't re-sign him. He's completely destroyed his trade value in the offseason because another team's going to have to deal with this suspension and the fallout from this. So you're kind of stuck. And why would you save a roster position? Because it's not like he came back and his play on the field was setting the world on fire. B, what are your thoughts on it as a whole?
It does suck as a person that watches the team. You're a pro athlete. I mean, anything you do is going to be under a microscope, good or bad. But it looks like it was something to do with the Florida casino trespassing. I don't know if he got banned or whatever from there, but he lost all trade value. If I'm him or somebody that's close to him, his legal team or family, maybe you just disappear for a year, and if you want to play again, go play the XFL for a year or whatever it's called now, or go join one of Cody's 25 teams to get rehabilitated. The Vikings do have to cut ties. I mean, I think it's, we cut ties, you disappear for a year, get your head out straight, maybe come back in a year or two. But, it puts the Vikings in a tough spot. I think that opens the door for Naylor to get re-signed. I know that was a big talk of the offseason, what you do with Addison, what you do with Naylor. I think that just brings Naylor back.
Well, you have to, because I don't think you're going out and searching for a new number 2 when you have a guy, especially in Speedy, that performs so well this season. He kind of leveraged himself into there. Now, they just don't have the money where they're going to go get another high ticket receiver. And I think Speedy earned himself, between $6 and $8 million this year. But you can't. The unfortunate thing is that you don't save any money by cutting him. And I saw some people are like, well, you don't cut him because it's not about the cap. It's about culture. And you can't have this guy sticking around.
Well, and that's what I was going to say. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say that, if you could find a trade partner that will, take them for cheap draft picks, then I mean, yeah, you're going to go that route. But I mean, everybody was joking around that Dallas is probably the only team that's going to take a chance on them because of everybody their past. But I don't think anybody's going to. I mean, I should say anybody. I mean, there might be some team out there that's going to offer a couple late round picks.
Yeah, maybe a fifth and a sixth.
Yeah,
for a first round pick. That's just.
But if you don't have to cut them and you say the cap room because you move them, I mean, I'm not eating none of that cap space unless I'm cutting them. So, but if somebody's willing to do a fifth and a sixth, and down the road, I mean, yeah, you're gonna ship him off. He's not a Viking next year.
Yeah, well, and you talk about culture. The Vikings have always been that stand-up organization, and when you have a player that keeps on acting out like this, that's going to trickle down and give other players the green light and be like, hey, we know we can get away with X, Y, and Z, this, that, and the third, and be just fine. And that's not how we do things here. He's not like a Randy Moss or a Jefferson. He's a two, if that. Or a number three wide receiver. He hasn't done anything in the league to think he can get away with that.
Yeah, I think on most teams he's a 3 at best.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Gemma, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you. Welcome to the show. We are just, discussing this young man's future with the Vikings. B, I'm with you. You can't bring him back, especially because you're losing the leadership. Shout out to Ham, our Skol pig back there, named after CJ Ham, who I think will probably be announcing an official retirement here very soon. Jury's still out on Harrison Smith. You are losing a lot of leadership out of this locker room, and you cannot have something like this fracture that locker room and that culture before it's even had a chance to get established. And that's, the long and short of it is the young man didn't do himself any favors. His play on the field was awful this year. His, besides the one good play on Christmas Day, but that doesn't save a season full of drops and the 3-game suspension to start the season. You single-handedly cost your team the playoffs. I mean, you can't tell me that if he's on the field that you win 2 of the 3 games that you lost to start the year, right? It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that someone with so much talent and all the opportunities in the world to go and make something to play at the highest level in the NFL has just completely thrown it away. It's sad. I feel for him on the personal level, but as a franchise, as a business, the Wilfs and Kwesi, that they have to be, and I think you could see it on KOC's face today as he kind of comes up, because I think the news broke like right before the presser today, and they were notified of it. Maybe they knew about it last night. He gets a call at 4 a.m. saying, hey, he's that probably you're not going back to sleep after that. That's one of your best. That's one of your best players, right? And someone who I thought wanted to be the face of the franchise, but they've just completely pissed it away at this point, and you have to cut bait. I'm definitely with my wife Danielle and both of you guys that you can't bring him back. I don't care that there's no cap savings. I don't care the talent that he had. The point is that he played like shit this year too. It's not like he was lights out when he came back from the suspension and all of it was in there. So there's no way I want to see him in purple next year. Not at all. And I don't think
the only way I think that I would entertain him coming back is, if he, whatever his suspension is, he's gone for the year, and Chris Carter or Randy Moss or both of them take him under his wing for that year, and then maybe I talk about 2027 on, okay, let's bring him back, let's see what he's done. But like you said, Bubba, I don't think any mentor is going to help him because, I mean, he sits next to JJ in the locker room. So, I mean, that would be the only way I would entertain thoughts of him coming back, is if he takes the year off and then gets a mentor between, Chris Carter, Randy Moss, Gary Rice, some of the greats that, were role models.
Right. Well, and it's just, he put himself in a position that he really didn't need to be. I mean, if you knew you weren't allowed at a casino, why are you going there and and picking up that trespassing? And if it was an incident that happened like bang, 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 why didn't you just leave? Why don't you just get out of there? I mean, one stupid decision can cost millions.
Yep.
Yeah, well, he's cost himself probably tens of millions of dollars. You were a first round pick, and you just completely blew it, and it's really sad to see it happen, because I think even if you get brought on, it's at like vet minimums. It's people taking a flyer on you, and yeah, it's unfortunate. I feel bad as someone who's made mistakes and has had to pay for them, who's been there. Right. I feel bad that he's had to take that and that he didn't have maybe better role models and, just people around him to help him do the right things and make good decisions. It's sad to see it. So with that, I think we can kind of put a pin in the Jordan Addison talk. Moving on to the rest of the press conference. I mean, definitely sounds like, obviously we kind of knew that. I don't think there was anything new or that hasn't been reported on. They're looking for quarterback help, but from the tone that at least secondhand, I'm hearing this kind of through the Purple Daily podcast. I know that, the sports dad was at the press conference asking some questions and kind of holding KOC's feet to the fire, but the tone seemed to be that they are looking for someone that can run this offense the way that KOC wants to run this offense. And to me, that sounds like a reversion to, not doing the things that you were doing when you were losing, and not doing the things that you were doing in the 5-game winning streak. And to me, that just like, man, it was kind of disappointing to hear that reporting from them. And we understand that, chunk plays are a big part of this, but to hear that tone from KOC again, when you finish the season on a 5-game winning streak, and granted, you played a couple of bad teams and kind of came out, you kicked the crap out of the Redskins. The Giants game, obviously, JJ getting hurt in that second half, where that the Lions game being what it was. But it just, God, I do not want to see this team come out and throw the ball 45 times a game to start next season.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't hear any of that, but I mean, we've said it over and over on this show. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Obviously the beginning of the season was all broken, so we had to fix something, and he did. And for him to go back on that, that's actually really surprising. I wouldn't do that, honestly. You picked JJ where you did, and you wanted to pick him, and now you're not going to try to fully develop him. You're just going to do let's say a year and a half because of his injuries and stuff. Maybe a year, and then just throw them away. That's a waste right there.
Yeah, if we're talking new coaching staff, then yeah, I can see them. Hey, we're going to go a different way in QBs. But yeah, you drafted. Didn't we move up a spot to get JJ too? I mean, or am I thinking of a different draft? But I'm looking currently right now at the quarterback free agencies for next year. Daniel Jones, Aaron Rodgers most likely will retire. Daniel Jones will probably resign with the Colts. Russell Wilson might be out there. Mariota, Tyrod Taylor, Zach Wilson, Flacco, Pickens, and then Jimmy G. Outside of that, those are probably the last three are probably the more interesting ones that I would think about bringing in. Because of the experience.
You have to think about what KOC wants. You can already eliminate a lot of those guys just because, like, Tyrod Taylor doesn't fit the system. Mariota, same thing. And a lot of these are just guys that you don't. Are they going to beat out JJ McCarthy even, right? And I think most of the guys on that list aren't going to beat out McCarthy, aren't really going to apply the necessary pressure that you're kind of looking for in the quarterback room. The Daniel Jones blew out his Achilles, right?
Yeah.
Like he ain't playing most of the next year. If we
No.
play like and then when he comes back, he's not going to be the same guy. We've seen these Achilles injuries in the league. You know, I think with a knee now, you know, people are coming back pretty good from these ligament injuries, you know, the ACL, MCL injuries, but an Achilles is a whole different animal. And it's a whole, almost, I think like a 12 calendar month recovery time that they put on those, even with the best doctors in the world. So,
I mean, yeah, no, I get that. I think, you know, like you said, it all depends on what KLC wants. But to me, I mean, Kenny Pickett's only been in the league for 3 years, going on 4. That might be a guy that, you know, has had some experience, might be able to push McCarthy a little bit. The other one, Gardner Minshew, that's in KC right now. He's a free agent. You know, those might be the 2 guys. But like you said, KLC's kind of backtracking a little bit on what he wants in a quarterback.
Yeah, honestly, when you were reading off that list, the only name that really stood out to me was Pickens. Just because I'm curious, you know.
Yep.
And
and then you still don't know. You got to get the guy into training camp, and you really want to make some of these signings as soon as possible so they can be available for your off season, you know, team activities and getting to know them, installing the system in their brains, and kind of running with that. And we're still waiting to see what B-Flow does. And now with Tomlin leaving the Steelers and everything going around, it's pretty wild what's going to happen. But yeah, there wasn't a single name on that free agent list that really perked my ears past the Kenny Pickett. You know, the Minshew mania thing. I don't think that he really fits what KOC's trying to do anyway. With I know that the Chargers launched Greg Roman, so that looks like they're definitely going to keep Justin Herbert and continue building around him and doing you know, more to build around him and kind of change their scheme maybe to fit more of what he can do. This
I mean, if we're looking at something that
continues to get it's getting cloudier, right? Instead of becoming clearer, I feel like it's getting cloudier, and it feels like it feels like to me like they don't want to go back to JJ McCarthy, and that worries me because he is your best option, and even going through all of that, he seems like the best option.
I mean, if you want somebody that learns, like, you know, that can learn from, like, we are all trying to get the Vikings to understand, you know, McCarthy's our guy, but let's bring somebody with some knowledge. Flacco's probably your guy then. I mean, Flacco's been around forever. You know, and I mean, I don't know if I'd want him starting, but, you know, he might be able to fill in, but definitely somebody to learn from. Flacco would be your guy.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'll agree with that.
Competent backup. Hey, there's been a lot of time. I mean, we don't know who's going to get cut yet either. Kirk Cousins could be on his way. Obviously, that name gets thrown a lot. Hey, Sir Picasso just jumped in backstage. We're going to bring our
there we
guy
go.
on. What's going
up, man?
on?
Hey, I'm here to bring Kirk Cousins back. That's what I'm talking about.
I see it.
Let's go.
I can't do it. I can't do it. The way he left, I can't do it.
With this offensive line, I mean, you know,
but
you know, if we bring something
I
like
don't
that,
care what anybody says. There's not a single person that could disagree with me. He is accurate. If you give him time to throw that ball,
he'll tear you apart.
Can throw it with the best of them.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right.
And then not only that, you guys want to talk about developmental. Okay, look at what he would bring to the table for McCarthy's growth. Priceless. Like that solidifies your franchise quarterback right there.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, you know, it does. I mean, to me, it doesn't sound like, you know, looking on outside of Atlanta, that he's willing to be that teacher to Penix. So why would he want to be the teacher to JJ? You know, so.
Well, that's why he left in the first place. He wasn't trying to have.
What's it going to cost?
Exactly.
Well, I think
how much money do you need? He just got $180 million, bro. He needs to stop talking about money.
He's still going to be greedy.
Legacy.
It's Kirk Cousins.
Yeah,
It's Kirk Cousins. He's still going to be greedy. And Washington made him that way from all the franchise tags. So
It's true.
Yeah, this is and I was just alluding to right before you jumped on that, B went through a long list of quarterbacks that are available in the free agent market, and there's not a single one out there that you're like, oh, we got to go get him, And
No, I was listening in. I wanted to make sure that I shared the post, shared it on my post on my page before I jumped in.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I got a Facebook restriction for sharing too many of my shows, so I'm in the doghouse again. It happens to me all the time. This one's gonna last a week. I can still like stuff I can share onto my page, but I can't comment and I can't share into any groups. So that's usually how I promote the shows out there into the different Vikings fan groups and stuff. But it is what it is. I'm ready to take this show strictly to YouTube at this point. Really start building out the email list and growing our community of fans and looking to grow more. So appreciate you sharing it out there though, Marcus. And it's been a day. That's what I woke up to this morning.
It's been a week for some of us.
yeah, no, I feel that. That Mike Tomlin stepping down, that kind of surprised me. All those consecutive seasons with a winning season. I think that was basically either we're going to let you go or you step down type of thing.
I think this is one that I could say that was actually a mutual agreement. I think Cody's nailed it. That I think he went into the office, they started talking, and they're like, hey, we're going to let you go, but we'll save faith and let you step down, mutually, so.
Well, and I think he doesn't see a winning season in Pittsburgh. I know that they made the playoffs this year, but you kind of made the playoffs because of a stumbling Ravens team, dealing with their own issues over the course of the season. And that I don't think he's done coaching. That's my personal feeling. I don't think he's done because he didn't retire, right? He stepped away from the team. And to me, that says at the very least, he's going to go do some interviews. And I think it has to be the right job. We've talked about, some of the coaching vacancies, Atlanta and Baltimore kind of being, I think, the top two because of the talent still on those teams. What a shot at your former team to go to your biggest rival. And if he goes to Baltimore, I think that would be wild, which we talked about kind of having some ramifications possibly for the Vikings, because I think that above the Ravens job, that the Steelers job might actually be more attractive to Brian Flores than the Ravens gig. What's it? Marcus is going to get on me for trying to get rid of B-Flow again, too.
Well, no, I mean, we don't want B-Flow to go. I mean, I know Marcus is big on B-Flow bandwagon, and he's probably leading the charge. What if B-Flow does walk? Do we welcome Tomlin back? Bring him back home? I mean,
that's actually the next painting that Sir Picasso is working on. He's got a big B-Flow canvas going on. That's why it's in secret, and he doesn't want anybody to know about it. But that's all right. I don't know what happened, Marcus. We lost your audio, man. Yeah, I don't know. Dip out and come back. We'll get you back in. No, and I don't want people to think that we want B-Flow gone, and that's the reason that we're just kind of looking at it from the 10,000-foot view and going, if I was that man, what am I looking at, and where are you going? Yeah, you're good now.
There we go.
Now listen, it's not a secret. Real quick. The B-Flow canvas is going to get mounted on my ceiling above my bed. No, but for real, I play defense, man. I like what he does. I like what he brings to the Vikings, and I love what he does for the players.
Mhm.
You know, so
I didn't
Yeah,
even think about that Atlanta job. That would be a nice one to step into.
Oh yeah.
No, and I kind of missed that when B was going through them last week, and we actually talked about it on your show. That's where it was on Coast to Coast, and you
Yep.
had mentioned it, and you were asking me about landing spots for people, and yeah, I think that ATL now the Steelers, because of the storied franchise. Now I don't know if the team talent wise, I don't follow them close enough to kind of know it. That I don't know if the team has it. They may be going for a full rebuild. You're losing that head coach, and I don't know about a full rebuild, but they're going to go through some growing pains next year regardless. And I think maybe that's what Tomlin kind of saw the writing on the wall. You got quarterback problems. Aaron Rodgers ain't coming back. He kind of alluded to it being the end of the road for him. So that team's going to have some bigger questions to ask. And I think that's why they offer it to Tomlin. It's like, hey, do we mutually part ways right here? And you're allowed to continue that streak that you have out of respect for you as a man and as a coach to go and to continue that streak as long as you want to, because it may not happen next year regardless. And, you have to put those two, that Ravens and the Atlanta job, and I think that's regardless of what plays out the rest of the season with these playoff teams. I don't see any of the remaining playoff teams making any kind of coaching changes as far as head coaching go. Do you, B? You follow the league a little bit more than I think the rest of us.
No, I think unless the coach, flat out just bombs this next couple rounds, I think every head coach is safe right now. It's going to come down to the coordinators wanting to leave. Definitely the teams that go to the Super Bowl, their coordinators are going to be big and, hey, that's what we want. And they're going to get interviews and stuff like that. So, I think you're right. I think there's no head coach right now that's got to worry about their job.
Marcus, you came in a little bit late. We talked a lot off the top of the show about Jordan Addison, and I wanted to go ahead and give you a chance to kind of give us your takes. I know you've met some of these players and that you've been around these. You know them as men, as young men, and you've been able to converse with them. I said it as someone who's made a lot of mistakes. I feel for them. Sometimes you can't get out of your own way. So I kind of want both takes, as a human being and as also the business of the Minnesota Vikings. And I guess you can kind of start wherever you'd like to there.
Well, okay. So going off of from a fan standpoint, you're literally going, dude, not again. Like what in the actual, but then also too, you look at it like this. I go, with everything that's on social media, we don't know what's accurate. We don't know what anyone's really, because from what I read from his attorney and from the Vikings is stating that this is a mistaken identity or something to that effect. You know what I mean? Like they don't see this going anywhere. I did see that KOC had no comment, which is that's actually kind of concerning for me when the coach doesn't want to speak on it, because that tells me that he either A, doesn't have your back, or he's waiting for the details too, right? As a friend, man, I like the kid. I think he has so much potential, but I think like a lot of these athletes today, I go off of this, and for whatever reason, I can't think of how I put it. But
what is it? Can you hear me?
You're good. Yeah, that's actually a lot better now. Yeah.
Okay. So I go off of this quote or something, and I can't really remember exactly how Michael Jordan said it, but they give these athletes too much without allowing them to earn it.
Yep.
It's the summary of how he said it. But back in the day, they had to go. They didn't get name brands. They weren't getting these deals with Nike. They weren't getting these commercial deals. You know what I'm saying? The sponsors and all this and that. They had to earn that stuff. And these players now, you start them off with all this money, and they get these giant heads, and they just think they're untouchable. And so I don't know. Like I hope that the things, aren't accurate, and I hope that, but at the same time, if you're guilty, then you should be punished. So
Yeah, and with that, we're probably looking at between a 3. I mean, he's getting more than the 3 games that he got already suspended. If a number I heard kicked around was 6, that's a third of the season. In a
well, that's what I
contract
mean. Like
year
it
now,
should be more because you're not. This isn't like a first attempt, right? Your first offense, you get like a slap on the wrist. You get the this, and that. You've already been suspended and missed out on 3 games last year that cost us the playoffs. Be honest. You know what I mean? Plain and simple. If he'd have been in those games, we'd have won one of any of those 3 games. We're in the playoffs.
Yep.
So
Help.
now you're looking at missing out on over almost half the season. No team is going to want to touch you. Like, you are costing yourself millions of dollars, like, let alone a job in general. So
yeah, it's sad. It's sad because this is someone, a first-round pick that could have been, built generational wealth for his family. And he's done nothing but take that away from his family. And I don't know that he's, has a wife and kids or anything. But I mean, you could have been taking care of your mama and just like everything that comes along with it. So I'm like looking at the bigger picture and just like, man, you can't get out of your own way. And from someone who's done it, right? Like, I've made mistakes. I've done time, I've done hard time. And so it's from experience and from a place of love that I do feel bad, but also as a fan, I'm pissed and I don't want him on the team. You're a cancer to the culture that they're building. Something we touched on was that, like, you're losing a lot of leadership with CJ Ham retiring, with Harrison Smith possibly retiring, losing a B flow out of that locker room, even though he's on the other side of the football. It means something to have those kind of coaches. So this organization is going through a leadership change, and you can't have guys like this in there that are first round picks and at the top of that, food chain. And it's just, and now it's opened the door for a Speedy Naylor that I think most people thought was going to be gone because he was going to be too expensive, and to keep both of them wasn't going to make sense. But now, even though you're not going to save any money on the cap, you're kind of forced to make the room for Speedy because you want to have a guy in there that's been with your team.
Well, send him down to Dallas. As I've stated before, Jerry Jones likes felons. That'll
to be
open
fair,
it
I
up.
don't think he's a felon yet, but he's on that path.
And as you were talking about it too, when you mentioned like being a cancer on the team, and obviously it's apples to oranges, but at the same time, this was out Aaron Hernandez too. If you remember, like leading up to his obviously end of his football career, like he was constantly in some kind of trouble, left and right for like for like 2 seasons, and then look what happened, right? So, and I understand like people grow up coming through these hard times.
Yeah.
But like you said, dude, I've been locked up. I've done hard time. I've done, my fair share of whatever. But as an adult, as a grown man, I know that if I'm hanging out with a certain type of person, this is going to happen. I just was talking with a buddy of mine today too, and he's like, well, I haven't talked to you in a while. And I said, to be honest, bro, you hang out with trash. So like, if you're okay with hanging out with trash, you stink to me. So
and I don't need that stink on me
at all. And but I said it was nothing against you. I walk away like that Homer Simpson disappearing in the shrubs. That's all it was. I just, you know what I mean? Like I said, it had nothing to do with you. I wish you the best, and just because somebody was a certain way to one person doesn't mean they're going to be that way to you. I understand that. But at the same time, if you see people going down this thing, and you see it a lot with these athletes who come from problem areas, right? Still trying to stick and cling to that. I got to, keep that loyalty factor. If your friends were that loyal to you, bro, they would have your back. They would separate themselves from you. they would take you out of that situation that would cause more harm to you.
Facts. I couldn't agree more. As a coach, I don't want to see any player go down this path that he's heading down. But I've made my mistakes. I had to take accountability for it, and I had to make a decision. Like, do I want to keep on this road, or do I want to, turn the leaf? Thank God I did. But I want the best for him. Obviously, it's not going to be here, and that's totally fine with me. But hopefully, he can find the help he needs, find the mentorship he needs, and maybe get another chance down the road. But for KOC not to make a comment on that, like you said, it's either you almost have to as a coach. You got to have your players back no matter what. But at the same time, you have to get all the information. I made a mistake last year where I jumped to the conclusion of just what I heard. Turns out I was way wrong, made a huge mistake. I learned from that. So maybe he just wanted to get more information as it came out, but
I saw her comment.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, since we're talking about Addison, if he doesn't return, I'll have a discount on a phenomenal painting autograph by.
Hey, let's go.
Yeah, and Shelly, we don't mean anything negatively on your guy. We're just kind of, talking about the reports that are coming out. It's really, it sucks. We want what's best for these players, and we want what's best for this team. But at the same time, what you have to be able to separate your feelings about a person from what it means to the business and to the team as a whole.
Exactly.
And, I might like that finger a whole lot, but if it's got gangrene, man, it's got to go. And that's yeah.
Right. Let it go.
It sucks, man. It sucks bad, but he keeps doing it to himself. It's not like bad things are happening to him. And you know what? It's speculation right now. And if it's true, I know the legal team's coming out, mistaken identity. I don't know. We'll see as it all comes out. I've been on the defensive side of these things, right? It wasn't me. What are you talking about? I'm pleading not guilty. And then 2 months later, you end up taking a deal and pleading guilty anyway. So I hope Marcus is sitting in the parking garage and Shelly gets a chance to come and give us her take on it, because I know that she's a compassionate individual, and that she gives a lot of people the benefit of the doubt, obviously, or you two probably wouldn't be together either, right? You guys come from very different worlds, and my wife 100%. The same way, right? My wife comes from a really good family. She'd never been in trouble in her life. She's never even had a speeding ticket.
She's never smoked a cigarette, never done drugs, nothing ever in her whole life. She is physically a saint. I think when she comes out, it gets brighter in here. Like her aura just, but no, you're 100% right. And that canvas, when she saw what I was talking about, is we were actually going down to meet him, and it was around her birthday time. And she had always talked about this Muhammad Ali that I did. She goes, if you're ever going to paint something for me, I want to do like a big, and it was a 2-foot by 3-foot canvas. She goes, I want something big like that. So I just said, okay. So then I just surprised her, and it was Jordan Addison, his first touchdown. He was holding the ball, finger up to God. And the canvas turned out phenomenal, naturally, but. And Jordan Addison, when he saw this canvas, she turns it around. He stood up from his chair and he goes, I want that. And I told her she should have sold it to him right then and there. I'd have painted you something new. But
yeah, no kidding.
It was her birthday present. She wasn't going to let it go. And it's still one of my favorite canvases. It's beautiful, but yeah.
All right. Well, I think we can kind of put that to bed for now. Like I said, if Shelly dips in while we're still on the show, I'd love to get her take on it as well. But moving on. You guys want to talk about some of the games we saw during Wild Card Weekend?
Bear down.
Yeah, let's go.
Too soon. Sorry.
It doesn't bother anybody here. I say that was
Nope.
the easiest thing for me growing up a Bears fan and then starting to root for this team. And it didn't happen overnight, right? Like I was watching Vikings games since I got together with my wife. I was watching the games with her and I always be rooting for them. I was never rooting against the Vikings except for 2 times a year. So really it only changed 2 games a year for me at the end of the day. And you know, and being, you know, now a Vikings fan, that I'm still rooting against most of the same other teams. But you know, I maybe don't celebrate the wins. And for me, it made me realize that like I'm not on the field. I don't know what the hell I'm even celebrating anyway, right? Like it's you know, like I had nothing to do with that team winning the Super Bowl. For me, I want to be more about the Super Bowls and the wins that I'm creating for my team. Right now, when the Scene Project Sports Network are out there celebrating wins, or the Scene Project on our national tour, like that's how hyped I'm going to be for our wins, is like I won the Super Bowl, not because of some team that I root for. And that was kind of a mentality shift. And maybe, Coach, you could talk about that a little bit too. Like, do you watch and are you a fan of the sport, or is it different for someone that is in that position that like celebrates their own wins and has their own team?
Oh no, I'm definitely still a fan. Still a fan. You know, I can't get enough of it. When I do get the time, I don't care who the teams are. You know, you just want to watch football. Just want to watch sports in general. I mean, we were talking about that TGL golf thing before we started tonight. You know, that I'd never seen that before, but that looks legit. But you know, it's difficult. It's difficult. I can't wait until I'm in the playoffs, because it's going to happen. And then I won't have to worry about, you know, watching it.
I can't wait to cover those games and to be on the sidelines and capture every minute of it. And man, we're there. It's already happening, Coach. That's why we've gotten a chance to get to know each other in this, and to be there for those moments and to watch your journey is really the like underlying current of the whole show, right? Like that's the big storyline that we're following. Biggest surprise, I guess, from the weekend. Everybody can just go around and do it. I'll let you guys start. Coach, we'll start with you. Biggest surprise from Wild Card Weekend.
I'm going to say the Bears-Packers game. It did not look good. It was looking ugly, and they just found a way, and that's what you got to do in the playoffs. You know, that's what the good teams do. They'll find a way, and you know, the Bears aren't 2 seed for you know, just shits and giggles. So
and they've done it all year. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, they've been doing this fourth quarter comeback thing all year, kind of been there. We were hoping that was like why the Vikings were going to have so much success, you know, in last season was because of those same things, that experience of being in that moment. But
right.
Yeah, crazy comeback, down 21-3 at halftime to turn it around like that is just wild.
Well, and then, you know, the Carolina Panthers game against the Rams, I was pulling for the Panthers, not going to lie. I've always been a fan of that team, and the Jaguars against the Bills. I was hoping the Jaguars were going to come out and pull that. But, you know, Josh Allen, he's gonna make magic every time.
Well, and experience matters in those moments too. And I think that's what we've kind of seen. Like, if you're going to beat the experienced players, you got to kick the shit out of them like the Texans did to Pittsburgh and Aaron Rodgers last night. Whoo! B, what was your biggest surprise of the weekend?
Well, I think number one is the Rams Panthers game, because the Rams are favored by 10.5 going into that game, and they only won by 3. I mean, that, you know, that shows fight on the Panthers. I mean, you know, Cody, probably proud if you're on that sideline that you're dogs by 10 and you only lose by 3. I mean, you know, you'd be happy with that, I guess. I mean, outside of a W. And then last night's game, I mean, I fell asleep right before the fourth quarter started, and it was like 13-6 or something. I wake up at the end of the game because, you know, the news was on, and, you know, it kind of woke me up with what they're talking about. And I'm like, oh, I wonder who won the game or what the score was. And to see it was 30-6, I'm just like, wait, what happened here in the fourth quarter that I missed? You know, so
That defense just
yeah.
unreal, man. And
Oh, yeah.
I don't watch enough of the league, right? I got a life. Well, I got a lot of shit going on. And so you had asked me to make picks, and I kind of picked the experience of Tomlin and Rodgers in that game, not knowing that the Texans defense looked like that. They look legit because defense travels, and to go into a hostile environment in Pittsburgh against all of that experience on the other sideline, and to do that definitely makes them some serious contenders. Now their next game is that the Patriots now? Is it Patriots Texans?
Yep.
It's gonna be a fight because the Patriots with an MVP candidate and Drake May. I mean, that's gonna be a crazy game. That might be the game of the playoffs, to be perfectly honest.
Not if the Texans keep playing the way their defense is playing.
That Bills Broncos game is going to be a good one, though, too.
The Broncos game, yeah.
See, I'm excited for the San Fran Seattle game. Those ones are always good, ever since Richard Sherman, Michael Crabtree days.
Yep.
I think Kittle going out with the concussion probably means he's not back for the next game. I think that has effect on San Francisco. I think I had picked them over the Eagles in that game anyway. I think that the Eagles just didn't have it this year. Just kind of watching a few of their games, mostly the one against the Bears, where the Bears just ran it down their throat the whole time. But I think San Francisco is going to have a really tough time against that Seattle team. Very rested, right? I think that that could end up being I wouldn't say a rout, but it could be more than a touchdown win for Seattle, coming down at the end, maybe win by 7-10 with that Seattle defense is no joke either. It seems like, the top teams in this, in this playoffs to me all start with their defensive side. Marcus Sir Picasso, what was your biggest surprise of the weekend?
Well, I think the biggest surprise was the Steelers game because you automatically, obviously being a Vikings fan, I don't like Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs. Like, period. So I'm sitting there going, like, you just assume he's going to come in and do exactly what Aaron Rodgers does, right? But this time his touchdowns were for the other team. So, I mean, it is what it is. But again, too, going back to alluding to a Vikings fan, watching the Bears and Packers game, I'm sitting here watching Green Bay, and I went, this is why I don't root for Chicago or for anybody else, because every time they let me down. Like, I just didn't want Green Bay. And
tell me about it, brother. 38 years of my life.
But like I tell people, too, like the difference for me is considering myself a super fan. I'm a fan of fans. Right. I have a lot of friends that are diehard Packer fans. I have a lot of Chicago Bears fans, and then fans across, from Texans to everywhere. So I watch them for them, but I watch football for me. I'm the guy who you're sitting next to on the couch, and I'm like, oh, they're lined up at, they're lined up in a fourth, or they're not going to make this in the middle. Oh, watch your white out. He's going to get out in the middle, and I'm kind of depicting which way they're going to go, like I would if I was a coach or something. Just because I rewatch the games. I don't have a life, right? I watch football, then I paint, and then I watch the games all over and over again during the week. But I like to see the structure of the defenses. I watch how these teams go, specifically if we're going to play them or not. But I like that, like coach, man. I like that coaching aspect of football. So I pay attention to schemes and to lineups and formations and everything. So I don't know, man. I'm super excited for the Texans defense. That they showed that they are going to be a force in this playoffs. And the Rams too. The Rams, I root for the Rams just because I got a couple buddies on the team, that I've painted for. So, I just always give them little shout outs. Not to mention I get to repost my paintings that I did for them. So, but no, man, I think that Buffalo. I think if we're going to talk about who deserves to win out of all the teams in the playoffs, I think Buffalo deserves a Super Bowl.
I don't know.
And they have the talent.
Yeah, barely.
And Kittle is out for the rest of the playoffs.
Is it a concussion?
Wasn't it an Achilles?
I thought it was an Achilles.
Yeah, it's the Achilles. He's done for the year.
Oh man,
Yeah,
I was
he's
like,
out for
sorry,
a year.
Yeah. Damn. I thought he just took a hit. I really wasn't it's kind of
No, I was thinking about that because he posted a picture of his ankle. It looks jacked
Oh really?
up.
Oh man. That's awful.
Yeah, he has he's having surgery tomorrow, so he's going to be done for the playoffs.
And that's a huge
Man.
hit in San Francisco.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Just for him not being on that field.
Yeah, ramifications not just for the playoffs here, but for all of next season for that team. And I feel bad for the guy. He's such a cool dude. I saw a lot of Cherry here. We got Kevin Cherry tuning in, Bears fan, obviously. Kev, shout out to you, man. Congratulations to the Bears. I mean, exercised a big demon. You know, beating the Packers in the playoffs is such a big thing. Does that build the confidence? Now, they had some big losses in that game, too. Their middle linebacker, TJ Edwards, out and done for the thing. Bad ankle injury there. If you watch the replay on that, that was horrific. And then they lost their left tackle, Trapilo. Is that how you say his name? As well. So now, throwing in a guy that was on IR, coming off of that, and Braxton Jones, who played a lot last year and has been part of the team for a few years now. But you're going up against a seasoned Rams team and a coaching staff that's going to know how to exploit a few of those things. So I think they're up for a tall task against the Rams. But to see that team go from 3 wins next year, or last year rather, to where they're at this year. Yeah, sorry, I meant to get that back up there. Yeah, and it's the defense didn't really get the takeaways against the Packers either. It was just the to me, it was more surprising to not watch the Bears kind of do what they've done all season as much as to watch the Packers just implode.
Yes.
Yeah, they did it to themselves.
How do you
100%.
score the 3 touchdowns and make everything look easy in the first half of football, and then to come out and just 3 and out, like what are you doing? What is going on? And not that I ever want the Packers to win. Fuck the Packers. And I don't mind saying that at all.
Back it up. I'll double down. Fuck them.
Matt LaFleur, I don't like. I think he's smug. I hate his attitude. And I think he deserved.
And they're talking about re-signing them.
I think he earned that the handshake from Ben Johnson after the game. I didn't see it live, but obviously it's kind of become a meme now. That you know what, you've earned that. You've earned this hate from the team, and I'm sure, Kev. I'm sure, brother. That it's nice to see, and maybe that shakes things up in Green Bay. It would be pretty wild to see them kind of let go of Florida. I don't think that's happening. Although you have a lot of the pundits in Green Bay and around Wisconsin kind of calling for it. I'm good friends with, not good friends, but I'm Facebook friends with Jim Morris, he's the owner of El Bandito Yankee Tequila. A little free plug for them. I've done some work with them in the past.
Now, there's reports that the Packers are looking to extend LaFleur for a few more years. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, he's won for you, but he kind of always gets to the playoffs at this point. And
but he came into a winning organization.
Right.
Let him go somewhere that has a losing record. Send him to Oakland or Las Vegas and see what happens. You know what I mean? Start from the ground up and see what he does.
See, and that should be a goal.
There either.
Yeah, and I agree. I don't think you can let him go, Kev. I don't. It would be asinine, to be perfectly honest. This guy's done nothing but win since he got there. You're not losing a lot. I don't know what their free agent market or anything looks like, but you still have Jordan Love, who is capable of playing to a relatively high level. I'd say he's, on the upper half of quarterbacks. I don't think he's in that top tier yet. Can he maybe evolve to that? Only time will tell with these guys. You're losing a lot of what I would call that top tier of quarterbacks with, people that are retired. Not that Aaron Rodgers played at that level anymore, but I think a lot of guys, just because of his history, would kind of put him into that upper tier of maybe, 10 quarterbacks in the league because of that. But I don't think you can let a guy go. I think you just have a lot of fans that are emotional right now. You just got beat by the Bears, right? That's got to sting for them. and you just calm down, take a few breaths, watch the rest of the playoffs. The Bears probably don't get past the Rams. They can surprise me again. Who knows? The more I pick against the Bears, the more they win. So maybe you can thank me at the end of the season if they win a Super Bowl for bailing on them. And
So
I'll take
would you
all the
want the
credit.
Super Bowl to come to the NFC North? I mean, obviously you grew up a Bears fan, so I know where you stand, but
and all my family are Bears fans, right? Like I have very few people that I know that aren't, and now getting in and knowing more Vikings fans and spending more time up there that, but it's still, I mean, this franchise has a lot to prove. Like I've said from the get-go with this team, like you were playing a fourth place schedule. You barely beat a lot of really bad teams. The Vikings beat you once. The Packers beat you once. The Lions swept you. So you still got a lot to prove moving forward as a franchise. Did you get in? Did you take advantage of an implosion by the Cheeseheads and to come out on top in that game? You still got to go prove yourself in the rest of these playoffs and have a lot more to prove moving forward into next season. But hey, man, for the fans, for that fan base to see them beat the Packers at home, that they deserve that. That fan base deserves that because they've been through hell. I would know. I was there for all the bad times. I obviously didn't get hyped when they won the game. I was more of like, okay, wow, that happened. But I haven't had to go through the lows of the last season and a half either, and that's been nice.
See, I hope he doesn't sign that extension, and I hope he finds a different team. Yeah, it's nice to have success early in your career and get established and get that reputation. But I mean, they've been that fan base. He does one bad thing or gets a unsportsmanlike penalty or something, then they're calling for his head. And I would just like to see him start somewhere different. Maybe like starting at a lower tier team or a team that has some questions and build that up and hopefully go against the Packers and then beat them. And, then you'll really have a chance to smile. I mean, that's what I did coming from the Minneapolis Warriors, well-established team, high pedigree, almost champions and national champions year in, year out. And to step away from something that I knew was almost a guarantee to, the role as head coach and GM of the St. Paul Bears and with a new team building from the ground up, that really shows you what you're made out of.
100%. That's why I call like the Tom Brady effect, right? Like you got to go somewhere to make sure that you can still do it. It's not just like I didn't walk into this winning team, because that's what people are going to say, like myself included, that he walked into a winning culture. Whereas if you go to a team that had a poor season previously and you build that up, then you know that you're the championship quality, you're the it factor, you're what helps bring these things up.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they weren't a bottom feeder, right? Like they changed coaches because they weren't winning in the highest level because they were always in the play, right? Like they were already there, and we're looking for him to be the guy that kind of got them over the hump, and it hasn't happened. So yeah, crazy to have been a fan of like a really bad organization most of my life and to see them, make it to the playoffs on a season that wasn't really going, didn't go the best, and you lost, I would say, your best player, Micah Parsons. As soon as he got to Green Bay, he was the best player on the team, either side of the
100%.
ball. And to still make the playoffs, and then you're like, nope, fire him, cut everybody, just take a breath, guys. I know it hurts right now, but just take a breath. You're going to be okay.
Well, and that's just like, what luck. You trade away 2 draft picks, a phenomenal defensive tackle to bring in Parsons. A couple weeks later, he gets hurt, and now you're a first-round exit in the playoffs. That's definitely not what they had in the plans, in the cards when they made that trade. But I mean, LaFleur, he got lucky. just landing into that spot. And with the Packers, I mean, if we're the Vikings, we got to figure out what they're doing scouting quarterbacks, because you got Favre for a decade plus. You get Rodgers, you sit him for a few years, like 4 or 5. Then you got him for a decade or whatever. You draft Jordan Love, you sat him for 3-4 years. That might just be the thing. So let's just set a quarterback for 3-4 years.
You sit them through that rookie contract and not show the world anything, so that when they get up to that level, you're like, yeah, we're just going to extend you. And you sign them for like 20
at a steep rate,
5 years, right? Instead of letting them prove it on the rookie contract and then owing them $500 million like Patrick Mahomes and everything that he brings. And we'll see if he's the same player coming back, right? That might look like bad money at the end of his career, because you don't know what he's going to be coming back from that knee injury. He might never be the same guy. Now he's got all the money, right? So he's got to have the best doctors, all the stem cells, and all the all the advantages of our medical system being what it is now. But there's some question marks in KC, which is kind of crazy. B, can you run down the games that we got coming up this weekend?
I sure can. Let me just pull it up. I had it pulled up here. All right, NFL divisional round. I got it. So Saturday, the 3:30 game will be the Bills versus the Broncos. Broncos are favored by 1.5. The Saturday night game will be the 49ers visiting the Seahawks. Seahawks are favored by 7.5. I would guess that's going to go up some more, throughout the week. Then Sunday we got Texans versus the Patriots. Patriots are favored by 3. That's at 2:00 Central Time. And then and then we follow it up with the Rams versus the Bears. Rams are favored by 3.5. So Bears are the only dog home team, which understandable. That Rams team is going to be good. That might be a battle there.
But not invincible, right? Not invincible by any means. They didn't look particularly great in Carolina, and it was really on them. They were dropping a lot of balls. Nakua had a couple of big drops. Devontae Adams coming back off the injury, a couple of drops. I think they tighten a few things up, and they start to look more like a Super Bowl contender this week, because the Bears give up huge plays. They're giving up almost 6 yards a play. I think that defense, although opportunistic, isn't particularly good. They have no pass rush. And that's ultimately what it comes down to. You lost one of your, the green dot. You lost the guy who calls your defense from that team. That alone is going to have an effect. And he was a major part of it. I think that they're fighting the Bears are fighting an uphill battle. I think the lines reflect that now. And but you at this point you can't put anything past them. But the Rams are not the Packers, right? And they are getting healthier where the Packers were not. So I think they got an uphill battle. But Soldier Field is gonna be raucous with another playoff game. You've exercised the demons. I don't think I've heard a double doink reference right in here. In fact, it was the other team, right? McManus left 7 points out on the field. And you got to feel pretty confident as the Bears team going in that you can beat anyone, right? You've played with the best of them in this year. You've won in those moments. I think a lot of people are still going to be picking this Rams team. Because of that, obviously Vegas favoring them. What's the most intriguing game to you guys? B, I'll let you go ahead. What's the game you're kind of most excited to watch?
Honestly, they're all going to be, I think, intriguing as to a point. I mean, we talked about the Bills. Personally, I don't want the Bills to go any further because I want 0-4 versus 0-4 in the Super Bowl. But they deserve it. You got the upstart Broncos. You got the, 49ers Seattle, that division rivalry there. I mean, they're a couple plays away from flip-flopping where, San Fran's the number 1 seed. You got Texans and Patriots. Again, another young, upcoming team. And then, of course, you got the Bears and the Rams. You got the Rams that have done it. You got the Bears that are hungry for it. I think they're all going to be intriguing games, especially, I would say, come to the Bears game. I bet you a lot of Bears fans are going to want that to be a cold game because you got a dome team going outside. I
you're
think that would
hoping
be a
it's
big
negative
factor.
20. It's snowing. It's like
Yeah,
bring
exactly.
on a
I think
blizzard
you
for
want
the
it to be
love
the
of
worst possible, weather game that you could get just to have a chance. Because I think if this was indoors or in a nicer climate, I think this game is going to be ugly. But being it's at Soldier Field, so I mean, right now I couldn't pick a winner of any of these games really.
Yeah.
I mean,
Avery says Rams Texans Super Bowl. Honestly, I think you could shuffle the deck and you could see the Super Bowl being any of the teams that are left in there. I think it's a lot of different storylines, right? It's not the Rams. Obviously, the Niners have been there before, but a lot of the experience on that team isn't on the field. Right.
Yeah.
I think Fred Warner is still going to be out for this next game. They were talking about a possible comeback for the NFC Championship game. So that still puts him a week out from returning. Losing Kittle with the Achilles is massive for San Francisco. And obviously Vegas is reflecting that. I don't think they looked particularly great in Philadelphia. They were good enough to beat a kind of, ailing Philly team for whatever reason. But, that Seahawks team rested with the way that defense, and it's more on the defensive side of the ball, right? The offense just has to play to not make mistakes. This, I think you've proven, and even in the Bears game, that you can kind of get after that San Francisco team, right?
Yeah,
you can get after them a little bit. And
I think if the NFL wants for rating purposes is Bills Rams or Bills Niners. I think that's what the NFL is hoping for. But I think as a fan, I mean, I want something new. So I don't want the Bills in there. I don't want the Niners in there. For personal reasons, because I don't want to hear the talk about
right.
I don't want Darnold in there.
That's the most experienced team running up in the AFC Championship game against the Chiefs every year and losing out on the craziest of plays and just if it's gonna be the Bills' year, it's this year. You don't have to go through Mahomes, and you don't f this up, right? Yeah. You got to get there, and you almost screwed it up against Jacksonville, who had a great season,
but I think it would be nice to see the Broncos, the Patriots, or the Bears, because those are three of the top, 5 quarterbacks that got drafted last year. So, let them all out and see who's the top of that class.
See,
for that reason, I don't think any three of those teams actually makes it to the next round.
I think it's going to be interesting to watch that Bears Chargers game, but more so the Rams. Yeah, your Rams. But more the Broncos Bills one. Big B, you pointed it out. They don't have to go past the Chiefs this year. Like if they're gonna get it done, it needs to happen now. And I want to see. I want to see if Denver's if Denver's for real, especially when it comes to playoffs. I'm not gonna lie, my Super Bowl pick, I would love to see Seattle against Houston, and then I want Seattle to take it. I want Sam Darnold to get that ring against a good defense. I know it. But if we really want
storylines, he wants the storylines on Vikings United, all playoffs, man.
We should have wanted them, and if we wanted them, we would have paid them and kept them.
I really think the Vikings really did want them, but they just didn't want them at that price tag. And they,
But gotta play to win.
The price tag that Seattle paid, that's the thing to me, is that they didn't pay him any more than what the reported offer was. I think at the end of the day, Sam picked Seattle over the Vikings. Right?
That's probably true. Kind of like Kirk Cousins.
What they should have done was put the offer on the table during the season, right? Letting it run out was the mistake.
That was stupid.
To sign him to something longer term, middle of the season, before he had kind of finished in that way, would have been the move. Letting it play out is what kind of happened.
And Cody, you brought it up a while ago or a little bit ago with the Packers. They're stashing those quarterbacks for 2-3 years, letting the veteran play out, and then moving on. I mean, you saw it with Favre, Rodgers, and then you saw it with Love. Once Love gets up there, you're probably going to see it again. Everybody should be looking at the Packers for what they're doing in that quarterback room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
well, it takes time,
100%.
and because Mahomes had that success, that it kind of changed the model where it's like, oh, you got to win when they're on the rookie contract, and that's not necessarily true. Sometimes it's okay to let them ride out. Don't let them get that huge value on that rookie contract, right? And then to have them long term at a much smaller cap hit.
Yeah, I mean, we got to figure out something because just off memory, the quarterbacks that we've had that have started for us, like I'm going back to Tavares Jackson, Christian Ponder, like we are not doing good at all in that category when it comes to drafting QBs.
I mean, our last franchise quarterback, I mean, can we all agree? Dante Culpepper?
Dante Culpepper, yeah. So, but I really want to see the Houston Texans make some noise. Drake May might be having an MVP year, but
I mean, I said they made some noise last night. Every other game was close. I don't think anybody expected that. I mean, they ended Aaron Rodgers' career and chased Mike Tomlin out of Pittsburgh. That's what I'd be telling my team the next day.
Yeah. And that actually, like, that does a lot to your team, confidence wise. It's not to that magnitude, but when we took a semi-pro team, the Minneapolis Warriors, down to Omaha and played the two-time defending national champions in Arena League, almost on a 1,000-day winning streak, and we went down, beat them, and then everything started trickling down.
Right?
Huh?
Wasn't the last play of the game too?
Yeah, last play of the game, and after that, the coach got fired and stuff like that, and just that David Goliath type of thing where
a 1,000-day winning streak, lose one game and get fired, man, I'd be pissed.
Yeah, well, I mean, he was coming on saying how other teams were giving us the script and that we knew their plays and stuff. We didn't know their plays. We couldn't even hear our own. We couldn't, like, our quarterback. We couldn't hear nothing in there. So I don't know how we would have been able to do that.
Did you guys go? Did your quarterback? I mean, in that game too, if I remember right, did your starting quarterback get hurt and you had to play a quarterback that barely threw the ball around?
Yeah, our starting quarterback got hurt on like the first or second drive, and then we used a wide receiver as a quarterback.
Yeah,
that's why you got fired.
That's probably that's why he probably got fired. But
yeah, 5'6" quarterback.
For sure, Marcus. I think that the Texans team all as a complete team is much better than Chicago is, but you never know, man. And I think that's why the Wilfs as an organization are always like, the goal is to get into the tournament, right? Because you never know what can happen there. And you've seen it, the Minneapolis Miracle and other things that, like, crazy shit happens in the playoffs. It's just the nature of football, really. It's why you play with that oblong ball and you never know which way it's going to bounce. But we talked about some injuries on Chicago's side. It's going to make it really tough for them. I mean, they had to sign a linebacker off the street. I think it's the other Sewell brother, actually. So they have Noah Sewell, who's Payne's brother, and then I think they just signed the third one to a deal. Now, he signed to the practice squad, so he probably won't play, but they've had to kind of retool on the fly now with some key positions. Left tackle and middle linebacker. You lost both of your starters at those positions. You survived for a half against the Packers. Now, I think with, the planning that Sean McVay is going to have against that, game planning against the middle of the field, and not that they can't slide some pieces around, but I think Chicago's got a tough test ahead of them. Now, they come out of that game with the W against the Rams. You, in that locker room, you have all the belief in the world, right?
100%.
You know that you have a chance to win the Super Bowl at that point. You can beat anyone on any given Sunday. So, yeah, there's definitely something to it.
Even with the Bears having it being a home game, Stafford and Devontae Adams, they've spent time in the NFC. They've played in cold weather games there. So, I mean, you have some of your star players that have experience that know, they've been going to Chicago.
maybe Stafford doesn't have a lot of experience beating the Bears, but goddamn, Devontae Adams sure does.
Exactly. And you hit the nail
He's
right
a
on the head.
co-owner with Aaron Rodgers.
You hit the nail right on the head. Is just get into the dance. I don't care what seed it is, as long as you get me into the playoffs, I'm good for one or two, at least one or two. Anything can happen. That's why they say any given Sunday with NCAA March Madness.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It just fits like Cinderella teams. All you got to do is go on a run. Honestly, get that catch momentum and just run with it.
Coach, is there something to, having a little bit of rust? I know Devontae dealt with some injuries, obviously coming off the hamstring and everything. He looked a little rusty. It didn't look like, comfortable catching the ball like we're accustomed to in there. Is it possible, in a week's time, and given that leg's probably a little sore after playing too, is it possible to come back and to I don't know. I mean, I don't think he's going to be at that top level that he was, but you have to expect a little more from him going forward into this week's game than he kind of showed in Carolina, right?
Yeah. We all say it. It's been a known fact. Nobody is 100% healthy, especially during playoff time. And when players are hurt during the season, a couple weeks or whatever, leading up to the playoffs, they're going to push it a little bit more, they're going to probably tell you they're 100% when they're 75, 80%, and so I think with an extra week, he should be able to get right. All these NFL teams spend millions, billions of dollars on, the best technology, the best training staff and health team. So I think he should be all right. But yeah, you could definitely tell he had some rust on him. He had a few drops that you wouldn't expect from Devontae Adams. Even Puka Nacua had a couple big drops. And it's
Man,
like
that one that was, getting him down inside of the 5-yard line and it probably goes in for a touchdown. Pretty wild, just kind of stone hands out there. But you have to imagine that you're not going to have those again, especially against a Bears team that gives up that kind of yardage too, especially to wide receivers.
Well, and the thing is too, I mean, it's almost coming down to that the 2025 season was the superstars dropping all the easy passes. I mean, we see that a lot of games where these sure-handed receivers drop so many balls at crucial times that might be what this team is remembered for. I mean, we can talk about the Vikings, but I mean, all these receivers are dropping crucial balls at the wrong time.
Yeah, you saw it in every game almost. AJ Brown had a horrible game. DK Metcalf had a big drop at the end of the game for the Steelers. It's just you're paid. You train your whole life to catch a ball, run routes, score touchdowns, and I don't know if it's just mental and they're just it's something like that. Something just. Anything, just being distracted a little bit can drastically change things. I can't emphasize that enough.
Going to be another crazy weekend of football this weekend, and I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a great time. Yeah, I don't know that I have much else to talk about, guys. Obviously, the press conference today didn't tell us a whole lot that we didn't know. There hasn't been any coaching changes as of yet with the Vikings. I think they were trying to get through this one so they didn't have to talk to anyone about it. So do the presser now, go out there and make your coaching changes and kind of do what you're going to do, and then only have to release the press releases and then not have to talk to the draft. So whether that's the right thing to do or not, I would imagine over the next couple of weeks, we're going to start to see some moves and some press releases coming out from this Viking team. I know they did say on Purple Daily today that Mike Pettin is retiring. So this assistant head coach, and whether they keep the title and that's still a job or not, whether that's an opening that Brian Flores steps into, whether there's some other organizational structural changes as far as maybe some more control for the coaches over, player development and selections, right? Moving forward. I don't necessarily know because they don't have to make it public what the team kind of does behind the scenes in the front office and others. But, so we know there's been some movement, right? With Mike Pettin retiring and leaving that open here. So we'll see what moves forward, but right now, not a ton on the Vikings side. So we'll kind of keep an eye on the news ticker while we're watching football, and they'll probably try to sneak it in on some Saturday and Sunday press releases or something if it does happen, so everyone's distracted by the playoffs. But we'll see what happens. Obviously, a lot more fallout to come from the Jordan Addison news. We'll get some more facts from that as much as we can. Any parting shots on the way out the door here, fellas?
I think we'll start seeing coaches fall, or signing, I should say, once Harbaugh figures out where he's going to be. I think that's going to be first. Everybody's going to be waiting for him. And unless they know they can't get Harbaugh, then they're going to be like, okay, let's see who we get. But I don't think Tomlin or Flores is going to sign anywhere until they know where Harbaugh is at. I think that's going to be the big piece of the puzzle on where he's going to go. And then we're going to start seeing these coaches drop off like flies.
Oh yeah, 100%. I agree. The last words though, I just hope my car makes it. I'm about to drive 5 hours, head back home up just a little north of Duluth, Minnesota. So it's gonna be a long
another
one.
coaching interview up there, or scouting
No,
up there, or what?
no. Ice fishing trip. So.
Oh, okay.
Awesome, man. We'll have a great time out there on the ice, Coach. I hope you get to relax a little bit, get away from the game, get away from, as much as you work. You deserve it. You deserve a good weekend of relaxing, and I hope you're, with your friends and family. And hey, brother, now, Kev, we don't want you getting hurt out there. I think I've seen you now. I don't want to I don't want to see your career end on a horrible kicker. So, in an emergency, I think Coach would be there, and you'll have a spot for it. We'll get you an honorary ring, right? I hope that well, because my ass is not getting out in on a football field anytime soon. I haven't played since I was 15, and yeah, I mean, I'm Aaron Rodgers' age. He looked over it, peeling himself off the turf last night, where he was like, I'm fucking done with this shit. I'm done. I am done. This is a young man's game. I am over this. I've made my money.
But he's a guy too that I can see that he'll say I'm done, but you don't file the paperwork just in case somebody calls. How many times did Jeff George come out of retirement to throw the ball around? So.
Jeff George. Holy crap.
Man, yeah, we've had a Brad Johnson reference, a Jeff George reference. The ghost of Dante Culpepper was there. Hey, there you go. Yeah, I kicked the ball around when I was 13 too, Kev. That doesn't mean that I'm going to football. Well, shout out to Kev. Shout out to Coast to Coast Entertainment, man. I had a blast with you guys. You all stay up way too late for me. My wife down here kicked me out of bed, but I had a blast coming on the show with me, with you guys. That was awesome. My picks sucked, turns out, but I was kind of doing it all on the fly. And there you go. I hope you survived the tryout, right? That's all I know how Cody runs his teams, and I've seen some of the guys that he's had out. Shout out to Cornelius Wallow and some of the guys that came out and joined us when we did the event out there at the casino last year. But there's some dogs out there that Cody's pulling in for these tryouts. I'm not even trying to step out there, get hit one time and end my life, not just my career. So.
Wallow's a big one. He's a big dog.
A big boy. Well, and he's been a guest on the program as well. So it was really cool to get to know him a little bit. Did he come out for your tryouts for the Cavalry?
No. He had, I'm pretty sure he had work or had some family thing. I can't quite remember, but he'll definitely probably find his way on the team.
Staying in touch, at least for kicking. Yeah. See, you know what, Kev? I don't want you to go out there and pull a hammy trying to kick a ball. Right? Like we don't heal up as quickly as we think we do. Appreciate you guys, man. It's great. Great to spend some time talking ball with you. Looking forward to watching these games and enjoying it. Obviously, I'm on B's text list now as well when big news breaks, especially related to the Vikings. And been crazy kind of watching. I think we've kind of seen the coaching, the moves on the coaching carousel we're going to. I don't know if there's necessarily any one of the coordinators right now that are left in the, because you have a lot of young coaching staffs in the playoffs right now. Kev, my answer is no. You guys start your show way too freaking late for me. My wife damn near didn't let me into bed. I mean, I'm ending this one and I'm like, drowsy. And you guys didn't start.
Well, we'll have to come up with the show that we can, just like a roundtable discussion on C2C, and that's a little bit earlier. We get everybody on just to
I don't mind filming my picks. I will film my picks pre-recorded. I will send them in to you. I don't mind appearing in that way. But yeah, staying up till 11:30 midnight for me, man. I'm too old for that. And I'm just not used to it. Man, I got this kitten. This kitten's up at 4 a.m., dude. He's killing me.
We were trying to come up with something to have everybody on, just guys night.
Cool. Let's plan for some crossover shows. Maybe we can do a Super Bowl watch along. I know Cody's been on about it since we don't have a dog in the fight. And Kevin might be. And
we can just ban Kevin from the show.
Ban him.
I think that would be fun, man, because obviously we're all going to be watching the game. I don't mind putting it on next to me and doing a little watch along. Cody, so it's funny, B, we were on, we did a pregame show, and then there was another, who were we playing? We were playing the Giants at that, I can't remember.
Yeah,
but he's watching a guy that's doing like, some knockoff PA type, calling the game to him. Then he was shotgunning a beer and he spilled it all over himself, and somebody floated him like a $50 super chat, and Cody's like, what the fuck?
Oh man!
It was great.
If that's all it takes, we're gonna make some money here.
Well, everybody, thanks for tuning in. We had a great group of guests tonight. As always, Sir Picasso joined us for a while. Big B from the Coast to Coast Network, Coach Cody Hommedahl from the
every team possible.
Every team in the Midwest, I think he's a coach for. We're just waiting for the Gophers to steal him away from us, and then eventually the Vikings. But we're just so grateful for you, Coach. I know I speak for B as well, to have your insight into the game. And it means a lot because I don't know shit about football. Just go back and watch the Coast to Coast episode from last week. I'm clueless, but I love to get together. I love to talk about it, as so many of us fans do too. I've been reaching out to some other creators, sent a message over to the Vocal Vike and some other Vikings podcasts that are out there, and see if we can get some people tuning in with us and join in some other creators around this team. Obviously, especially as we move through draft coverage and kind of getting everybody's takes, I think that's going to be really fun. So for my co-host Big B and Coach Cody, my name is Bubba Starts. This is the Scene Project Sports Network, and this has been Vikings United. We'll see y'all next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Later, guys.
Later.
SPSN.